So, I hope you were... Prince, what are you doing? Okay. So I hope you were excited for all those revelations that happened in the previous part, because now we're back to the sloppy, silent, monotone gameplay for a while. Yay.
So, do we even know what...
Exciting.
So what exactly is the
Go ahead.
prince's plan for preventing himself from killing the Empress?
For now, he's gonna get in the... Now he's already in the past, because he used the portal. Now he's gonna retrieve... since the sword he wanted to get was destroyed by the Haka, his logic is, oh, I'm gonna use one of the portals and actually catch the sword, you know, in the past, so I'm sure it's still there. After that, he's gonna go after the Mask of Wraith, which supposedly should reset his own time, and thus will be able to travel back and, you know, prevent himself of killing Kylina.
I love
There
how
she
this...
is.
I love how the story is so lazy that,
Yeah.
you know, they have to actually introduce a whole new plot element mid-game.
Not just that, yeah, just for sake of padding, because this is padding.
Who wrote this?
Like,
Skip
seriously,
forward.
seriously,
There we go.
seriously.
The Scorpion Sword. This is essentially your second to best our weapon in the entire game. It's very powerful and has the ability of destroying the fragile walls that were in the previous game.
This is
So
like...
let's test it. Go ahead, Drova. Don't worry.
This is like if Majora's Mask had this other plot-heavy, you know, thing, you know, that we needed, you know, after beating Majora himself. Like, it's, oh, yeah, just because you defeated Majora's Mask, it turns out that there's this other mask called a Trident's Mask or some crap like that. And then
Yeah.
that extends the game. It's like, you know, the Sands of Time are kind of the main theme of time travel, but when you introduce suddenly a new form of time travel in this series, kind of makes the Sands of Time...
Well, it's pretty clear that the Mask of Wraith itself is just a cop-out that they use for padding the second half of the game. It's so badly paced and written.
Not to mention, it's such an obvious corner they wrote themselves into. Oh crud, we're getting rid of the only means of time travel. I'm sure that won't lead into any potential
Let's
plot
pull
holes
something
whatsoever.
else out of our asses, yeah.
Don't worry, we'll make a new one. It'll be even better.
With blackjack and hookers, yeah.
That's probably what Ubisoft spend most of their budget.
So, what's so
well,
special
now
about
here's
this
the
sword
thing.
again?
Again, it's extremely powerful and can break. It still use the charge attack from the Lion Sword, but it also can break the fragile walls, and you're gonna need this ability to progress in this prison setting and later on.
Funny, because nothing about this sword really looks that special that suggests that it can really actually break walls. Like, because
It's just stating in the description.
well, that's the issue, though. I mean, visually, it looks almost like the Lion
Identical, yeah.
Blade. In fact, I dare say it looks even less special than the Lion Blade.
Well, don't you see, Jova? It's has a slightly red design on its fin, so it's completely different.
You know, I'll give the first game credit. At least when we got that superpowered sword, I could
the
definitely
swords
tell.
actually look different. Yeah, that's true. Here's the problem. Much like in Knack, as soon as you get this new power-up, the game starts introducing new powerful enemies, which is, trust me, it's very annoying. I mean, in terms of attack power, they're pretty much the same as the previous one, but it just takes so much damage to kill.
And let me guess, some that require special
Again,
maneuvers.
these BDSM guys, like, you give me this new power-up that allows me a greater attack power in order to defeat the enemy easier, and then right immediately you give me these guys that essentially supposedly balance things out, but in turn just makes the game a slugfest.
And unlike Assassin's Creed, these guys apparently got the idea to attack you all at once, apparently.
It's like, I think it's also what the fuck happened. I think it's also tied to one of the glitches in a sense, but if an enemy attacks you and actually manages to hit you nice enough, everyone else will start to gang piling you.
What do you
Yeah,
know?
Joe, I mentioned, if you press square near a pole or a column like that, the prince is gonna do that acrobatic move.
See, now stuff like that I can actually dig because, you know, it's part of, you know, Prince of Persia's thing, using the environment to aid you. Like, it only makes sense that it should extend a battle. The problem is that the game doesn't seem to provide you with that many environments to make advantage of this. Like
And
seriously,
in general, it's connected to what I said before, Joe. But the gameplay department is much better than in the previous game. But you know, it's at the cost of everything else, and I'm not sure it's a good balance in that regard.
I mean, heck, even the gameplay kind of takes a hit in some regards. Like, seriously, the platforming is so sluggish and has delay. Something you do not want in a precise platformer.
Mm-hmm. Again with the music. Yeah, I think it's a good point to say it. I forgot if I said already. Okay, I need this box tuner to use for the pressure plate. But you know what game actually used this kind of music and actually did it right?
Devil
The
May Cry?
2006. Well, even that, yeah, because the grunge metal thing actually adapts to it. But also the 2016 Doom reboot. Again, thanks to Mick Gordon's use of this type of rock metal thing, which adapts to what the game is supposed to be. Here it just clashes horribly. It's like that
Yeah.
song Limit Break in Final Fantasy 13 too.
Tio, I have to ask, if you never pull out your weapon, will the enemies just stand still because they only took out their weapons when you took out yours?
The way the enemies detect you in this game is weird. Again, they just stand there like idiots.
Like, I have to wonder if you could potentially just walk by these guys so long as you don't press the attack button.
No. Sooner or later, eventually you will come into their, field of vision and they'll start chasing you, unless you do something like I did in the previous part and jump off a ledge.
Well, apparently their field of vision is like no more than 2 feet away from them.
This is suddenly Metal Gear, I guess.
Like, seriously, even the citizens in a Pokemon game have better vision than these guys.
And they have literal tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot. Did Sun and Moon actually improve having more of diagonal, move field of vision?
Yes,
Yeah.
there is some
I mean-
diagonal
I mean,
vision
how-
as well.
when
Some
you're on the
trainers
verge-
actually look from side to side, believe it or not.
Also, when you're on the verge of being discovered, the screen.
You get to the flash
screen-
thing, yeah. I remember
Not
that.
not just that, but even before that, the screen dims a little, like that you're in danger of being seen by someone.
That's nice.
Alright, in this room actually gives you a mean to defeat the enemies relatively easily. First you need to use this crank in order to open the door, but if you place them carefully, there you go, you can use that pressure plate to activate the spikes to kill them. That's a nice touch, but the problem is that the game doesn't have that much of rooms like this.
These guys are made of sand, and yet simple spikes bristling up against their feet can defeat them.
Apparently
That's
they
not
have
kind-
sensible feet, I guess.
You
Don't
know,
put Lego on them.
At least in the first Prince of Persia game, they explained that, you kind of needed this mystical dagger to truly defeat them. So it
Yeah.
made sense here and there, when they were getting defeated by blades. Here, we don't even have that mystical dagger, and yet somehow these guys are falling to our blades like that.
Look at that, I'm slicing this guy's throat, which should be an insta-kill for the common enemies, and it's sticking so much.
Yeah.
There we go, like 4 or 5 hits. Jesus. Oh, you wanna come here? Maybe? Oh, guess not. The good thing at least is that these enemies drop always sand when killed. So if you wanna abuse your time powers, feel free to go to town with them. Like here, I maybe should use the rewind, but I guess not, because... There we go. Look at that, the glitch doesn't allow even the grungy music to take over. Like, who programmed this port? I really want to know if even the original game was like this. Because again, people gave so much positive praise.
That's not really telling of anything, Teo. Remember, there are plenty of games back then who may have gotten praised back then, but then aged horribly.
I guess, yeah.
Hey, you got new artwork.
There we go. Whoop. I think we're actually close to the exit of the prison now. But basically, the prince is gonna use this as also like a shortcut, I guess, to get back to through the throne room and actually see if there is a passage from there to where supposedly the Mask of the Wraith is hidden. Because that's the thing. It's an interesting thing. After, aside from the fact that he saw the vision, the prince actually doesn't have a single clue technically where the Mask of the Wraith is supposed to be.
So for all he knows, it could be on some other uncharted island. Ah, what the heck?
Pretty much. Yeah, it's another giant. And for some
Ran-
reason, we're back in the place of...
Did that guy just teabag us?
Pretty much.
I think so.
It looks even like a mummy.
Seriously,
The
he
fuck?
just ran over us. Didn't even really do anything. He just ran through us. Huh. I don't want to see his rear end, Gabe.
Well, that's a problem, Jova. It's only vulnerable on the back part of his feet.
Oh my god,
for
seriously,
now.
whenever he
Then
tries...
then he goes very good to his knees, and then you're supposed to slide the head.
I swear, whenever he tries to get you while you're between his legs, it looks like he's fondling himself.
Look at this. Like, this is good gameplay design for boss fight, am I right?
Wait.
Oh yeah.
This is a boss fight? Oh yeah, we got a
He
health
has a
bar.
health bar, Jova. Yeah.
So this
Oh,
is...
and it regenerates because we're supposed to kill him only with that. That's nice game. Just die already. Thanks. This is like that boss in Super Meat Boy that has that completely erratic pattern, and you're not supposed to know how much it attacks. There we go. Slow-mo.
No blood? Huh.
Again, Jova, it's worth it.
Shouldn't there be a blood,
No,
though?
because it's made of sand. But
Wait,
yeah,
hold
they
on.
actually-
Everyone
you
else has
actually-
been made of
yeah,
sand.
You actually have a point. And the health bar is still there.
So we're making mistakes that even Mighty Number 9... Okay. That's not exactly the same
now
thing
it's
Mighty
gone.
Number 9 did, but that's a similar mistake.
Like, seriously, how? Why is the coding this poorly written?
I honestly don't.
Let
Hey,
me
at
guess,
least there's
another
new
boss
grunge
coming
music.
up?
No, Jova, there's the thing. There you go, that's the room where the giant was, and now we can climb up and actually exit the prisons.
It sounds a bit like Toxic Waste from Crash Bandicoot, only not nearly as good.
Oh my god, you're actually right.
Yep. I guess they wanted to take some inspiration from Mutato Musica.
Yeah, even the characters are saying their strategy, attack him at the same time.
Which sometimes they don't. Again, the gang piling thing. Thank goodness you can actually push them in the pit, so for this one it's actually relatively easy.
So they can also die from falling damage.
Yeah.
Okay,
again,
my question,
The
what,
logic has so many questions.
what's the point of making your enemies out of sand if they pretty much have the same capabilities and weaknesses of a regular human?
Good question, Jova. The problem is that the game doesn't bother to answer it because, you know, it's too busy doing the edgy stuff rather than actually giving explanation on the lore and everything. If anything, the Forgotten Sands, at least the HD version, I haven't tried again any of the others, gives at least a more conclusive story in terms of what it establishes.
Forgotten
So-
Sands, is that the fourth game?
The fourth game, which is set supposedly in between the first one and this one.
Oh.
Essentially,
Oh.
the writers found a way to tell another story that didn't, attack the continuity.
Why didn't they just make a sequel to 3?
Well, that's the thing, Jova. As you will see with 3, at the end of 3, the story is pretty concluded. There's not much else to do.
I guess. It's just, at least have it be between 2 and 3. It's just like, well, do they...
3 is immediately after 2. There's no pause.
so,
It's like between God of War 2 and 3.
okay, so how much does the fourth game have to, pay attention to this game?
You'll see when we get to it, Jova. It's actually really interesting.
Would you say that
Trust me.
in
Anyway.
retrospect they actually make the story of this game make more sense?
Perish the thought, Jova. See you for the next part.
See everybody.
So, yeah.
See,